Hey everybody, it's Dr. Cara and I am here with your monthly forecast using my Animal Wisdom Oracle cards. There's the back side of that. And as I was getting ready to start doing this recording and pulled out my cards, I just realized that this is a moment, this is a way, this is one way that we can really pay attention to animals and really learn from them. And I really saw the reading, and maybe especially this month, I don't know, but I really saw this reading as a chance to kind of sit at the feet of the animals and say, hey, you know, what do you have to say to us? What can we learn from you? What do you want to share with us? And at the same time, we're really tapping into the barometer, the energetic barometer of the globe, so the global energetic barometer, I guess, and just seeing like what's going on energetically all around us, and what do we need to know about, what do we need to think about as we move through this next month in time, and we're in that energy that's coming this way. So the forecast is really about getting a heads up about what's coming and what maybe a way to kind of frame it so that we are empowered and kind of, I don't like to say forewarned, it sounds so ominous and dooming, but just so we know, and so we have a little bit more information to go on and a little bit of a heads up. So Animal Wisdom Oracle cards, I'm going to pull this card off the bottom, which is the Reindeer. So Reindeer speaks to me, and the Panda also, and then I'm going to also pull this third one off, and that's the Cat. And they just all came off the bottom of the pile today. I just felt them, like that was it. Reindeer I always love, because reindeer reminds me that no matter what you're doing, you can always do it with a heart full of play, right? So reindeer is really tapped into the group awareness and the consciousness of the group, very, very tapped in, and very serious, you know, very purposeful, very focused, but also really aware that, hey, we can be light too. And as I'm talking about this, I'm just getting so many tingles, you know, like those little truth bumps of confirmation. So I think, you know, what I want to do this month that I don't usually do is I want to see if there's a specific message. So I'm holding up the Reindeer card. Is there a specific message that wants to come through from the reindeer about this? So I'm going to just tap into that reindeer. It was kind of complicated, actually. And it was really about, we're all tapped in to the collective consciousness, to the group energy of whatever group we're in. So right now I'm in the middle of my Animal Communicator and Healer Summit, and one layer of the message that I got from the reindeer is that on that spiritual energetic level, we're already all connected, and don't lose sight of that. And that's, again, that group awareness, which is really the gift of the reindeer, is that connectedness to the whole group. So don't lose sight of the fact that you are connected. So whatever group you're trying to tap into, know that you're already part of that group. Know that that connection is already there. So for me, I'm reaching out to aspiring and established animal communicators, anybody who's an animal lover who wants to get closer to animals. And you know, the mistake that I make in my thinking sometimes, that we all make, is that they're somewhere out there and I'm here, and somehow we're separate. And the message from the reindeer is very, very clearly, no, you're not separate. They're not out there. You're already connected. You're already in relationship with them on that energetic and spiritual level. And so just connect in with that. So that's the first part of March, is just to really know that you are connected, you are tapped in, and let's bring a little lightness to it all. Let's not be so serious and nose to the grindstone all the time, but let's just kind of lift our heads up and look around a little bit. So the second card that I pulled was the Panda card, and the Panda card is really, so again, the gift of the panda is the peacefulness. And if you've ever been around a panda, there is a palpable energy field of peace around panda and pandas. And the first time that I was around pandas, it was like a force field. It was like thick with peace, and I just like bathed in peace. And it was so clearly different from outside. I mean, it was just like, you know, this total force field. And like on those TV shows where you kind of walk through this funny energy thing. But so the panda is about that peacefulness. And the other thing that's really striking me is their message to people is to find stillness in each moment, to really, when we're present right here, right now, we have that stillness inside of us. And it's so funny, this phrase keeps coming up, but don't lose track of that. Don't lose sight of that. That is available all the time. So keep tapping back into that stillness of the moment. And when we're fully engaged in what we're doing, and there's no time and space, and you know, there's nothing around us, we're in that flow, we're in that stillness of the moment. And that is a beautiful place to be, where we don't even have to remind ourselves. So this month, I think part of it is going to be about finding those activities where you're automatically in that stillness of the moment, and really residing in that panda energy field of when we're so still inside ourselves, when we're so at peace inside ourselves, that spreads out. Actually reminds me, I was having lunch with my daughter yesterday, and our waitress at the restaurant was kind of like dropping things on our table, and you know, the porcelain dishes, and it was like jarring, and it like literally hurt my ears. And so Lex and I decided to create this force field of peacefulness around us, because we were both like, whoa, we don't need this. And so we did. We grounded ourselves. We created this little bubble of peace around us. And the next time the waitress came through, she slowed down. She was gentle in how she put the dishes on the table, and it really changed things. We could have probably put a little effort in again about 20 minutes into the meal, because she kind of got wound up again and brought that energy to our table, which we didn't really care for. But that's what we learned, right? Like, we can manage our environments, and by creating our intention and allowing that to radiate out from us, it then affects other people too. And I would think that this woman, this waitress, would feel better having a little bit of peace and calm and being able to breathe, because none of us feel good when we're like this. And that's what the panda brings. So go to those moments and those activities that automatically put you there. And if you remember it in the moment, then, you know, put yourself there. But if you're doing something where you're in that flow, where you're in that, you know, just that focus of the moment, you're automatically bringing that peacefulness, because you're automatically so engaged and nothing else exists. And that energy ripples out, and that brings that stillness and that peace to you, to the situation, to everyone around you. So just know that you have that available. And then let's look at the third one, which is the cat. And I have a cat and I love him. And I'm just tapping into the card to see what really draws me about this. And what really catches me intuitively is the cat's message to people is that they're here to learn about interdependence. And so there's this balance between autonomy and being in relationship and interdependent. And if you go too far in one direction, you're solitary and isolated. And if you go too far in the other direction, you're dependent or codependent. And the happy medium is this place of interdependence, where we can move back and forth between being in relationship and being on teams and doing our own thing. And the cat really brings that balance, and that's what they're here to learn and to model for us. So I think that when I look at these three cards, and that, you know, I always, when I do these readings, I look through all 3 cards to see what the flow is and what the story is. And I think that it's really interesting because the reindeer is about the group awareness, and the panda is about that stillness inside ourselves. So there's the group and the individual, and the cat brings them together. So as we go through this month and we explore our connections that are already there in the groups, whether we're aware of them or not, the groups that we're part of, and we look at how we can manage our own energy field, our own consciousness, our own awareness, we're exploring these things, and the cat is saying, and then they come together. So, you know, focusing on one at a time gets us more adept and more comfortable with each piece of it, and then we can bring them together. And that's what I think the story of the energy this month is. And I just realized that I did tap into the reindeer for a specific message, and I just want to tap into the panda and see if the panda has something specifically. And it's really about sitting and residing in peace. Like I just saw this image of this panda, like practically in a lotus position, just like sitting in peace. So just, and the word I heard was reside. So reside in peace, just sit in peace, be in peace, reside in peace, exude peace. And then I want to do the same thing for the cat and tap into if there's any message that the cat wants to share with us this month. And you know, it's interesting because the cat's message is really about aligning with your heart, just letting your heart lead you. And your heart may lead you to interact, and it may lead you to alone time, and it may lead you someplace that you don't expect. But the cat's message to us this month is to let your heart lead you. So beautiful, so touching. So take the reindeer and the panda and the cat with you this month, and know that this month is really going to be an exploration of our connectedness and our independence, and how we have that dynamic balance. It's not static, right? It's always shifting where our comfort zone is in our interdependence. Be the change, follow your heart, and remember there's always time to play. Bring that lightness to everything you do. That's my March forecast. Have a beautiful month, and let me know how it goes. Let me know what strikes you about the forecast. Of course, the usual, you know, subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff. But mostly listen to the animals. This is our chance to really sit at the feet of our teachers and take their messages into our hearts as lessons for us for how we can be better people. And so I hope you join me in doing that this month. I will be focusing on independence and interdependence and being in a relationship. So I look forward to seeing you next month. Have a beautiful month. I hope you join us at the Animal Communicator and Healer Summit. And this is Dr. Cara saying goodbye. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.